from their encounters with races from other planets. The information is the activation. Let's awaken this world together. We are the forever students, and we will not be silent. We are the ones that we've been waiting for pretty while. Welcome, everybody, to Full Spectrum Universe. My name is Rob Yox. This is the Embattled broadcast from the great state of New York, where we explore the future to remain in the present, to dictate the terms of our future. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The first thing I want to say to everybody is dreaming. I fell asleep beneath the flowers for a couple of hours. What a beautiful day. So I heard a couple songs today that were really present in the moment of what we're doing. And last night was amazing. I am working on the PDF. And this is kind of like a pickup of last night, but it's different. This is going to be different. So good evening to everybody. I see Rain is here, Sugarbee, Nicole, Omar, Nancy, Selena. Oh, man. Prince is here. We've got everybody in the house. Caroline is here as well. Dorota, thank you so much for upgrading to the full spectrum package on the membership portion of this. All of these proceeds go to this broadcast and finding even more and greater paths of which to communicate with everybody and to link up. So thank you all so much. Last night was absolutely incredible. Angela, hello, how are you? Thank you, everybody who gave a super chat last night. You guys were I am overwhelmingly appreciated. But the overwhelming love that you guys were showing me was just, it's making me stutter now just thinking about it. I am humbled, and I love you all, and thank you everybody for your support. It did help the algorithmic bugs, that's for sure. And I'm just so grateful. But tonight is a new night. Tonight we're going to be talking about dreaming, and this is called "What Do My Dreams Mean?" So we're going to go over symbolism. We're going to go over numbers. We're going to go over colors. We're going to go over situations. We are going to go over lucid dreaming. We're going to go over precognition dreaming. We're going to show you what it all means and how it works when we basically have these specific dreams while we're even daydreaming, right? And that's kind of why I said what I said. Discog is here. I see Rockers is here. Welcome, everybody. If you haven't already, please do us a favor. Like, share, subscribe. If you are not getting the notifications for these episodes, please hit that bell, maybe click it off, click it back on. Help us help everybody out there and get this information out. Also, the last vestige of what we need is to please leave a comment when this is finished. I see Lynn is here, Andromeda is here, and Ian's Month is here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Welcome, everybody. So we're going to dive right in because we've got a lot to do, right? And I've created a slideshow, but this is more so you can listen to my voice and not worry about me being on the screen, right? This is a slideshow that has a lot of pictures of representations of dreams, but we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, right? So let's get right into it. Oh, one more thing before we start. We're going to be announcing the next energetic workshop within a week's time. So be prepared. I'm going to create another Eventbrite link. We're going to get it going. We're also going to be announcing the free one that we're going to be doing, which will not be online. This is going to be strictly offline. So the free one is also going to have tickets that are being sold, right? They're not sold for a price. They're just sold for you to go and purchase it for free, which means you have to go to Eventbrite, put your email in. And also what that does is it gives us a email list. So anything and everything, once we get the website up and running, you will be the first to be input into the website where you'll get notifications about everything going on, whether it's on this platform or any other platform that we're going to be on. So when we do the free Eventbrite links, do yourself a favor, purchase those tickets, stay abreast of everything that's happening. So let's get into it. What do my dreams mean? Right? No opening salvo tonight again, because we're going to talk about what is a dream. So dreams are like letters from the unconscious mind. If only they were written in the same language we use in the waking reality. Fortunately, we do have the ability to study our dreams and interpret the common dream symbols that they contain. And although there aren't always hard and fast universal definitions, the following dream meanings offer a sound starting point to understand your own personal dream meanings. Now, before we dive into the actual dreams, let's build some context around symbolism, dreams, and the symbolism in dreams, right? Three aspects here. If dreams were movies, you could get up and walk out. I mean, you dream you're at school, you dream you're suddenly at your desk or on the pitching mound at Yankee Stadium, or your second grade teacher becomes Batman's mother, whatever the case is. Then you're back at the supermarket lying on the floor eating cereal. They sometimes are just random, right? Absolutely random. But we have to look at some of the symbols within those dreams, which is going to define what that dream was meant to show you. And a lot of you who are intuitive and or higher elevated consciousness, your dreams have symbols, meanings, and connections. So we're going to explore that too when we get to some of the, lucid dreamings. We're also going to be talking about some of the scientific terminology of what dreaming is, right? So how is the waking mind supposed to understand all of this? So the ancient Egyptians thought dreams were just a different way of seeing, right? With trained dreamers, they used to plan things, and they made critical decisions back then as well, especially in Egypt. They were seen as seers sometimes. The Greeks and the Romans thought that dreams were windows into the future or visitations from the dead. If you remember, the Greeks used the Oracle of Delphi. Many of the people who were in charge used the Oracle of Delphi to dictate terms of societal, you know, progression in those times, and it's really wild. So, neuroscientists Antti Rivenoso of Sweden's University of Svadka has a different theory. He believes that dreams are the brain responding to the potential future and dangers that could, though, therefore happen in that future. It's the brain keeping us sharp and running a few drills while we're sleeping. So, a century of talk theory has shown that we benefit greatly by reflecting on our dreams and searching for their meanings, right? The 90s idea that we dream to forget basically is the information dump by the brain. And it's viewed as a far more simplistic version of that in today's dreaming experts, right? So, dreams are something that are absolutely paramount to the awakening mind. There is a vibrational frequency that shows us certain avenues that direct us into the astral plane at some points. But sometimes our subconscious has its own realm, our own little pocket realm where these dreams come to the forefront and we're seeing what we're supposed to be seeing, right? Certain things pop up and they're random. And I told everybody about a dream that I had um, a couple of months before my wedding. And it was my grandfather, and he was wearing, a Santa's outfit. And at first, I didn't understand why he did that. And he was also trying to make it so that I couldn't see him for some reason. I think it's because he knew that if I did see him, I would be upset. And that is not something that he wanted to do, days before my wedding. So we're going to go over what that meant in some way, shape, or form when people come into your dreams wearing disguises or specific uniforms that are not really about what they do. I mean, when specific moment in this dream, my grandfather used to love to play Santa Claus at the clubhouse down the road from my house at the time, and this is like one of his favorite things to do of all time. So for him to come like that makes sense, right? So let's talk about some common dream symbols. And as you can see here, these are some of the symbols. We're going to talk about very minor symbols, but we're also going to be talking about some, let's say, more general symbols as well. That's right, Charles. The cream of the spiritual cream is here. We are here. I see Ronnie made it, Auric made it, Charles, September 26th. Welcome, welcome. I see my brother from another mother, Johnny, or John Lombardo. He is my friend, personal friend, like Omar. He is an actual friend for the last 20 years of my life, if not longer. And outside of the internet and all of that good stuff. So show him some love. So let's get into some of these symbols, right? Some of these common dream symbols. So sometimes we see animals, right? And animals often represent a part of your psyche that feels connected to nature and survival. Being chased by a predator suggests that you're holding back repressed emotions like fear or aggression. Sometimes we see babies in dreams. Babies can symbolize the literal desire to reproduce offspring, of course, or your own vulnerability or the need to feel loved. This can also signify a new start, right? So we just talked about being chased, but just being chased in general is one of the most common dream symbols in all cultures. It means that you're feeling threatened. So reflect on who's chasing you. There may be a symbolic reason that there is a possible threat in real life or just in the dream state. Could be your own cognition is chasing you and you feel like you're being chased, but it's your own brain keeping you from doing specific things that you know you're capable of doing, but you're holding yourself back, right? That's something that we have to understand as well. Sometimes we see clothes, whether they're scattered over the, on clotheslines or they're on the bed. The clothes make a statement about how we want people to perceive us. If your dream symbol is shabby clothing, you may feel unattractive or worn out. Changing what you wear may reflect a lifestyle change as well. Sometimes we see crosses, right? Some of the people out there who are Catholic or Christian, crosses are symbolistic of the Lord and reverence to the Lord and church. But sometimes crosses come up that don't mean the Catholic Church either, and they're interpreted subjectively depending on your religious beliefs. Some see it as symbolizing balance, death, or the end of a particular phase of life. The specific circumstances will define them, right? So, one dream, right? What if you never know who's chasing you? Then it's you who's chasing you, right? I would think that that's it. So, one aspect that we're going to talk about is exams, right? A lot of times we have these dreams that we're in school and maybe we didn't study for an exam or there's an exam on the desk in front of us and we ace it, whatever the case is, but this can signify self-evaluation with the content of the exam reflecting the part of your personality or life that's under inspection. Sometimes in a dream, we perceive the death of a friend or a loved one, right? This represents change, endings, and new beginnings. It's not a psychic prediction of any kind most of the time. Sometimes it can be, but most of the time it's not. If you're recently bereaved, it may be an attempt to come to terms with the event as well. Bereaved means that you love somebody or there's something in your life that is now over or lacking and you're grieving that process, right? Sometimes we have falling dreams. Falling dreams is a common dream symbol that relates to our anxieties and letting go, sometimes losing control or somehow failing after a success, right? So another symbol is faulty machinery, right? Could be your phone, could be a bunch of different things that doesn't work properly. In dreams, this is caused by the language center being shut down while asleep, making it difficult to dial a phone, read the time, or search the internet. It can also represent performance anxiety, right? So, right now, we're talking about the literal meanings of these dreams. We're going to talk about the spiritual aspects as well when we get into the later portions of this presentation. So if sometimes we see food in our dreams, and it's said to symbolize knowledge because it nourishes the body just as information nourishes the brain. However, it can be just food sometimes. Some people have dreams of demons, and this is sneaky evil entities which signify repressed emotions. You may secretly feel the need to change your behaviors for the better, or This may be your intuitive self telling you that there's something around you. It doesn't need to be there, whether it's a hitchhiker or something else, right? We all know about the hitchhiker syndromes and things like that. So, another symbol is the hare. The hare's significant ties with sexuality. This is according to Freud, of course. Abundant hair may symbolize virality, right? While cutting hair off in a dream shows a loss of libido. Hair loss may also express a literal fear of going bald, which a lot of people have if they're starting to thin up top, right? Some of these specific symbols we're going to go deeper in a little bit later as well. So hands are always present in dreams, right? But when they're tied up, it may represent feeling of futility, right? Or some sort of animosity. Washing your hands may express guilt. Looking closely at your hands in the dreams is a good way to become lucid, which we'll get into later. Houses. Houses can host many common dream symbols, but the building as a whole represents your inner psyche. Each room or floor can symbolize different emotions, memories, or interpretations of meaningful events. Sometimes people are dying in our dream, or there's killing of somebody in a dream. This is usually a darker dream. In your dream, does not make you a closet murderer either. It represents your desire to kill part of your own personality. It can also symbolize hostility towards a particular person. Sometimes we have dreams that we're getting married, right? Now, one of the things that we can look at while doing this too is that you can put a lot of these things together. And when you put a lot of these things together, it sort of starts to give you an interpretation of the entire dream, right? So this is just going back and looking at all these symbols again. We can sort of chain together what we're looking at and sort of, problem solve what the dream means, which is pretty wild. And we have a question here. It says, when you're flying in a dream, are you on a ball like in hell reality? Usually not. I mean, when I'm flying in a dream, I'm like Superman. I'm shooting across the stars, boo, all the way across the buildings and all that. Usually it's not on a ball, but let us keep going. So back to the common symbols. Marriage. Marriage may be a literal desire to wed or a merging of the feminine and masculine parts of your psyche. We should all have encountered a dream like this when we start to balance out our feminine and masculine, right? Sometimes in dreams we miss a flight or any other kind of transport it's another common dream. This is revealing frustration over missing important opportunities in life. It's most common when we're struggling to make a big decision. Sometimes we dream about money, right? Money can symbolize self-worth. If you dream of exchanging money, it may show that you're anticipating some changes in your life. One dream that I frequently have is mountains, right? Seeing the landscape of mountains in the background. Mountains are obstacles, so to dream of successfully climbing a mountain can reveal a true feeling of achievement. Viewing a landscape from the top of a mountain can symbolize life under review with a conscious prejudice, right? Trying to figure out exactly what the next steps are. Sometimes we have dreams that have nudity in them, like we are nude, right? We wake up in school with no clothes on. This is one of the most common dream symbols, revealing your true self to others. You may feel vulnerable or exposed to others. Showing off your nudity may also suggest sexual urges and desires for recognition, right? People or, other dream characters that are naked are reflections of your own psyche and may demonstrate specific aspects of your personality. Sometimes we have dreams of TVs and radios. They can symbolize communication channels between the conscious and unconscious minds. When lucid, ask them a question. That's a asterisk next to that. Ask them a question when you feel it's a lucid dream. Sometimes we see roads, right? One of the things that we say is that there's infinite roads that lead to one path, and that path leads to the inner standing, right? We even did events on this. And I dream of roads all the times, all the time, all the times. I said, imagine that. All the times I listen to the roads and I read and see the roads. No, but basically these roads can mean a multitude of things. But aside from being literal manifestations, it can convey your directions in life. This may be the time to question your current life path if you're having dreams about roads. Sometimes we have schools in our dream as well. And in this is a common dream and in children and teenagers. But what about dreaming of school as an adult? It may display a need to know or understand yourself, fueled by life's own lessons, right? Sometimes in those dreams, we see teachers, right, in school. Aside from being literal manifestations of people, it can represent authority figures with power to enlighten you, right? Sometimes we dream of teeth or our teeth are falling out. People have this dream all the time. This is a common dream symbol. People dreaming of losing their teeth may mark a fear of getting old and being unattractive to others. Sometimes we have dreams of feeling trapped physically. This is a common nightmare theme. Reflected it's reflecting your real life's inability to escape or make the right choices. Sometimes we dream of vehicles, right? Trucks, cars. This may reflect how much control you feel you have over your life. For instance, the car is out of control or someone else is driving you, right? One of the most powerful symbols we can see while dreaming is water. Water comes in many forms, symbolizing the unconscious mind. Calm pools of water reflect inner peace, while choppy oceans can suggest unease, right? So let's break down some of these symbols even further. Now, we're going to talk about these basic symbols again, but we're going to break down male, female characters. We're going to go over animals again, specific animals. We're also going to go over um, a couple of other things here, too, right? We're going to talk about indications and numbers, but those symbols can represent different things to different people. Most dream interpreters believe that many symbols do have some sort of general meaning that applies to everyone. The following is a list of these common symbols in dreams and their general meanings. So sometimes we see male characters in our dream. Men in general, that particular man or the male aspect of yourself, your father, intellect, ideas, mode of thought, healing, healing agents, guides, entities, or a former life of yours. These are what male characters sometimes symbolize. Female characters are women in general, that some particular woman, the female aspect of yourself, your mother, emotions, healing agents, guides, entities, or another, again, a former life. Sometimes we see children, whether they're babies or just children, this shows immaturity sometimes, or the child within, the trauma which occurred at the age of a child shown. And again, sometimes we see animals. Now, the dreamer's animal instinct may be a representation here. Aggression, paternal or maternal instincts, or social status. So obviously, these symbols do not have clear cut meanings, even if these are the general meanings, right? One must look at the context of the dream to determine which meaning rings true for him or her. Looking within is really the only way to interpret a dream. Dream dictionaries can provide more specific symbols and their detailed meanings, right? And I can point you to some of those if we need to as well. There are an entire dream dictionaries that we can go over. I took the most prominent ones, and that's what we're doing and talking about today. But one must still examine what the symbol means to him or her personally before automatically accepting this dictionary's explanation. Oftentimes, we also see numbers in dreams. Actually, instead of the actual number being in the dream, usually the number is represented by the number of people in a dream. Sometimes the actual number does not appear, but such as in a street address, or a phone number one is supposed to remember in a dream. The following is a list of numbers and their general meanings within the dream world. This is pretty wild. This to me was a new area of understanding my dreams. And this brings a lot more to the table, right? I see a lot of street addresses. I see a lot of things, right? So let's keep going here. The number one indicates the need to develop one's individuality or creativity. It also indicates selfishness within the dream subject. The number two indicates balance, sharing, give and take, two-way communication. It can also indicate that the dreamer is a channel or a medium, right? A channeler or a medium. Number three indicates commitment to improving one's self in mind, body, and spirit, the Trinity. Number four indicates limitation. Number five indicates sensuality, the five senses, karma, and literally learning your lessons through the five senses, right? The number six indicates love, compassion, and forgiveness. The number seven indicates spiritual enlightenment. The number eight indicates expansion through balance. The number nine indicates spiritual advancements of the dreamer. Not a very common number in dreams is the number nine. The number 10 indicates God or ideals. Number 11 is contemplation. And number 12 indicates a judgmental dreamer. That comes from a jury of 12 people, right? It's the symbol, right? It could be a one and a two, but it may be a 12. So understand your dreams by going through what's going on in those dreams. So the next area that we're going to talk about is colors, right? Sometimes things seem off in color, and this can be disturbing to some people, right? And the colors are of a surefire way to sort of bring up indications that reside within these dreams. We have another question here. It says, how about falling, but you wake up before you hit the ground? Maybe you bounce up in bed. Now, let me tell you, this is a preconceived notion, right? Let me bring it back to me for a second. There have been people who say that if you hit the ground, you are dead. I have hit the ground, looked up, and then got shot in the head immediately afterwards. Didn't bounce. One of the wildest dreams I've always had, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. But I fell and hit the ground, right? And that was a problem. Like everybody said, "Oh, you must have died in your sleep." I said, "I don't think so. I don't think so." But I died immediately afterwards. So it's a pretty crazy dream. But this was also tied to a time where I was in college and I saw somebody pretty much do themselves in a way that was with a gun. So, you know, it was a rough thing to see, and I think that this had some sort of impact on my dreams as well. And it's a pretty wild situation. I don't know if I could talk about it on YouTube, but basically I was next to some people. A gentleman decided that he didn't want one of those people to be alive anymore, and we were in college, and they walked up and he shot at all of us, right? And you could hear it go by your head, and it missed everybody but one girl that was next to me, and it grazed her ear, and which was phenomenal. But then we ran, and as we ran, this isn't a dream, this is real life. Sorry. I should have prefaced that. This isn't a dream. We ran down to this place called the Student Center, and this person must have went somewhere else. And as they came back to, around where we were, they just stopped, you know, pulled back put their head back, and it was a wrap after that. I can't really go into detail, but and watching that was something that it will stick with me forever. That's for sure. But let's get back to dreams, right? just to give you a little bit more context on the why maybe I had that dream. So, colors and dreams. The purpose of colors and dreams is to act as a healing agent or guide. The character in the dream who wears the color and the position of the color relative to the dreamers are important in interpreting the meaning of that color. For example, a color above the dreamer, like in the sky, indicates something that the dreamer needs to strive for, right? The following is a list of colors and their general meanings. So the color violet means spiritual understanding. The color indigo is perception. The color blue is philosophy and expression, right? The color green is sharing harmony and balance. The color yellow is elimination. The color orange is assimilation. And the color red is creative energy. So, the next thing I want to talk about really quickly is some more symbols, right? These are some more advanced symbols, right? This is where we start to look at specific things. And just to go back to colors before we do that, right? I'm going to bring it back to me for a second as well. There is a lot of connection between your auric color and the color that you receive in dreams. Sometimes when we see the auric color and then we go to sleep at night and that is prominent in our dreams, that resembles a connection to etherical um your etherical nature within your reality, right? So there's something there. And the color white has no meaning, right? It's just what it is. We didn't say anything about white. So, well, it's just not in what we're talking about. I'm sure we could find something for the color white, but 9 times out of 10, you're not going to dream in white, right? Dreams are in colors most of the time. So let's keep going. Some more symbols. So one symbol that could be prominent is death. And I know it's tough to talk about some of these things, but dreams involving death can be scary. They can be filled with many nuances. For example, you might have a dream where you die or attend your own funeral, or where you experience the death of a loved one. These different aspects of the dream can relate to different meanings. So, for example, if you dream about the death of a loved one, it might symbolize that you're missing a quality that that person brought into your life, or that relationship brought into your life that you had with this person. And it's changed now, right? And they're not a part of your life anymore. However, if you dream about your own death, it may symbolize a period of transformation, change, and potential new beginnings. Death dreams are often a transition and a closing of one part of your life to do something new or to be born again within something new, right? Another more specific detail of a dream is an elevator. Sometimes we have dreams of elevators. And these elevators are significant, and there's significance with going up, going down, being stuck on a floor. So, elevator dreams are often about aspirations and the direction of our life. For example, it could represent a rise in status or obligations, or suggest that you're grounded wherever you are, right? Look at the direction of the elevator, and it will tell you more about what the elevator is trying to communicate to you. Going up may be aspiring to some higher realm or some higher, method or point. Going down means your aspirations might be a little bit below your abilities. Stuck on a floor may mean that you feel stuck within your life and won't take you where you want to go. This specific elevator, you might feel like you have little control over what you receive in your life versus what you want. Sometimes elevators can move sideways in a dream, right? And it may be time to set new goals, is what that means. So, another big symbol that has varied meanings is a boat, right? Boats in a dream are like how we navigate through our emotions. And the state of the color of the water is also an important aspect of what we just talked about. So, you have to pay attention in order to uncover the greater understanding in this dream. Some common water details to look out for, and their association includes smooth seas, right? You may be navigating your emotions calmly and peacefully. Sometimes we have rough seas. Your emotions might feel tumultuous or difficult to navigate. Clear seas, which is like you can see into the far distance. This is emotional clarity, right? Murky water, which means muddy water, might be having trouble tuning into your emotions. Shark infested waters means you might not feel safe sharing your emotions. And then the seas that overcome your boat with tidal, like tidal wave type stuff, you may feel overwhelmed by your emotions. So another point of interest is darkness. If your dream places takes place in the darkness or in a dark environment, such as a basement, it might be a sign that you have a fear of the unknown. There is, is there anything going on in your waking life at the present that you wish had more information about it, right? You might feel like you're being kept in the dark about aspects of your life. And these thoughts and emotions may have seeped into your unconscious, right? Sometimes we see shadow figures or shadowy figures. We can't fully make out who that person is. Anyone in the dream that appears to be shadowy or dark in some way might represent aspects of yourself that you have not yet faced, like your shadow work that's yet to come, right? There may be aspects of yourself that you want to keep hidden from yourself or others. Some darker, shadowy figures or features that a character in your dream might have are dark eyes or hair, a shadowy presence or dark energy. In addition, they might be wearing sunglasses or hiding their features in such a way behind a hood, right? So we have to understand that these are all aspects of the dream. Pretty wild, right? It's pretty wild so far to think about these things and to understand a little bit of what it is, you know? Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. So there's more. How about a wise leader in your dream, right? Sitting at the feet of our elders. I dream about this all the time. A wise person can be represented in a dream by a teacher, mentor, or spiritual leader, or someone else you look up to. When this type of person appears in your dream, it is believed to represent the wise one's archetype that may indicate that you're being guided to something or in your journey, right? Pretty crazy. Someone in disguise. Someone in a costume, mask, or some other type of disguise may represent, um, you know, this archetype of a persona. This is the self you represent in the public, which is often different from your true self that you may only show to select people or even keep to yourself. It may signify that you're trying to hide something from others or even from yourself in your waking life, right? Sometimes we see tricksters in our dreams. When a person appears in your dream who is silly or funny, it's often a dream manifestation of the trickster archetype. When the trickster appears in the dreams, it's showing you that not everyone is or everything is as it seems. And you need to look beyond the surface to gain deeper understanding of what's truly going on. So, there's a lot more here that we can go into, but this one I thought was pretty funny. Aliens and UFOs in your dream, right? Aliens and UFOs in dreams are often associated with discovering something new. This may mean that you're on the verge of uncovering something new about yourself. In addition, these types of dreams are often associated with a feeling of alienation, right? And being disconnected from your current surroundings. So, like I said before, we're going to talk about specific animals, right? Anyone sees colors outside of the normal spectrum, it can happen. Usually, colors outside of the spectrum can be linked back to the spectrum to give you clues into what it means, right? Or something that may come close to it. So, next, we're going to talk about specific animals. Now, the specific animals you see on your screen are not ones that I'm going to mention. So, you can look at that as at a different time, right? And kind of go into what it is. So, one animal that we talk about, and when we talk about ancient um, extraterrestrial ancestors, is the dolphins and the whales. So, the dolphins and whales represent Akashic truth, also known as the truth of all your incarnations and the knowledge of your soul. They can also represent intuition and latent psychic abilities. In addition, they might symbolize a sense of guidance and trust in your waking life. Now, remember what we said about the whales and the dolphins when we did the races from the stars and galactical beginnings, that they hold the DNA of some of these ancestors that are off planet, right? And they were uh, almost a seafaring people that resided on land once in a while. So it's pretty wild that the connections go there. But sometimes we see butterflies. If you see a butterfly in your dream, it can signify transition, growth, and change, and might be a sign that you're feeling more creative or to start or at the start of a new beginning. Sometimes we see dogs in the dreams, right? Dogs in a dream could represent protection and loyalty. You may be feeling self protected, or you may feel you're in need of some type of protection. Sometimes we see birds. Dreams about birds often represent ambition and goals. It also may be as it created a sense of freedom and make you feel like you're really in control of your life. Somebody said before that they soared like an eagle. This is a flying dream of birds, right? Pretty much. Pretty wild. Pretty wild there. I think that's pretty wild. So sometimes we dream of bugs. When you dream of bugs, it might be a sign that something is seriously bugging you. No pun intended. For example, something in your waking life might be causing you to fear or anxiety, or you might feel that there is a weight on your shoulders. Sometimes we dream of cats, right? When cats appear in a dream, it often represents a concept of yin and yang, or reflectiveness, darkness, and secrecy. It might symbolize your independent spirit, creativity, or even sexuality. Depending on the color of the cat and what it does in your dream, it can also symbolize deceit or bad luck. So, this is what we have when it comes to specific animals, right? Next, we're going to talk about spiritual dreams. Spiritual dreams are people who are advancing their into the higher realms of consciousness. This is more frequent for you. Sometimes we have religious symbols in our dreams. Religious symbols are associated with the different religions, such as Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. These symbols can be used to represent a person's faith and belief, and oftentimes are used in a way to express one's spiritual journey. Common symbols associated with Christianity includes a cross, a fish, a dove, and symbols associated with Judaism is the Star of David and the menorah. Muslim symbols include the crescent and the stars, right? They have a crescent moon. Sometimes we see ancient symbols or symbols that are not recognizable, but you know what they mean, right? Ancient symbols are symbols that have been used throughout history and are often linked to spiritual beliefs. These symbols can be found in many different cultures and often represent concepts such as power, protection, and good luck. Common ancient symbols includes the Eye of Horus, the Tree of Life, and the Anka, right? Sometimes we see natural symbols are symbols that are associated with the natural world, such as plants and animals. These symbols often represent a connection to nature and the spirit realm and can be used to represent a person's connection to the divine. Common natural symbols include the butterfly, the tree, and the sun. All right. So we may have to do two parts to this one because there's a lot more to go through. And I want to make sure that I don't overload with this part, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for another 5 minutes, and then we're going to bring it back to me, and we're going to do some closing, right? Some closing and stuff. So right now we're going to talk about universal symbols of harmony and balance, usually seen as the peace symbol, right? This symbol is a symbol of peace, and it's commonly seen as a dove holding a single olive branch in its beak. This symbol has been used in art, literature, and religion throughout the history to express feelings of goodwill and harmony. In the Christian faith, the symbol of peace is used to represent the presence of God and an assurance of his love and protection. In many cultures, the dove also symbolizes a messenger of hope and joy. So, a common theme that we feel in our dreams is love. So, love is one of the most powerful spiritual symbols in existence. It symbolizes a deep connection between two people. It can also represent the love of humanity and God. Sometimes we see hearts in our dream. The heart symbolizes love and affection and can also represent the love of a higher power as well as a connection between two people, right? Sometimes we see Cupid. Cupid is the god of love and is often associated with romantic love. It's usually depicted as a small winged figure who carries a bow and arrow. We see that. Sometimes we see roses, and roses are a popular symbol of love and romance. They can also represent the love of humanity, right? So sometimes we see doves. Doves are, we just spoke about, a very, very powerful love symbol. So we're going to talk about two more types of dreaming, and then we're going to actually shut this down. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to save these for the next time. Lucid dreaming and precognition dreaming. I think it's best that we do that separately because these dreams that we're going to have are very, very typical for people of the higher echelons of consciousness, right? And it's pretty wild because before we go off tonight, I'm going to tell you a little story about today. I saw somebody that I worked with, and I asked them if they saw the Akashic Record one we did last night, and he did. And he was asking me a couple questions, and it was a very good conversation. And he was trying to understand the difference between third density, fourth density, and fifth density, right? So really, what that symbolized in that moment was his yearning for a better understanding. And I told him that he may want to visit the Akashic record himself and figure out what that means to him, right? I can give him a book definition of what that means. Hello, Valentina and Kelly. Good to see you both. And you know, it's not as simply derived, right? Everybody feels differently when they talk about dimensional density. And we could put scientific labels on it, but truly the aspects of that dimensional density is up to the beholder, right? Everything is in the eye of the beholder. So try and ask some questions with the Akashic record. The Akashic record is there for you to access at all times. And we had some people on Facebook who were trying to, you know, say, hey, prove whatever about it. And I said, it's up to you to prove it, right? Really, it comes up it's all up to the eye of the beholder. It was a really wild concept, and I don't usually talk about this stuff, but this person has 71,000 followers on TikTok, and now they're basically trying to come at me in the comments when sharing out a show on, not in this comment section, but the comment section on Facebook about the show, and I asked, I said, "Did you watch the show? I mean, tell me what you thought about it." And he was like, "Nah, nah," but I'm gonna comment on it anyway. It's really funny when that happens because you're like, "All right, do I invest my time in this or do I not?" And I told him, I said, "Listen, man, everything's cool. I love the fact that you're commenting on it. I love your information, right? So, hit me what you got." And he showed me a couple of TikTok videos, and I was like, "Yeah, it's cool," but they were a little, left a lot to be desired in the believable section. But I took it in stride, and that's something we all have to work on a little bit, is taking things in stride, right? And yes, Johnny's right. Some people are miserable, and it's okay. They're miserable because they miss that connection, right? The connection that we have with each other, and the connection that we go in and explore our connection to everything, right? Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ronnie, for the super sticker. That super sticker. As you can tell, I worked all day. And again, we're not going to be doing a show tomorrow night. Tomorrow is my birthday. So I'm going to take the night off and we'll be back on Thursday. But I just want to let you know that, taking things in stride is often a test of patience. And that test of patience becomes a different way to perceive how people are going to react to that, that moment of I guess, interaction. And even though this person was trying to come out of the side of their neck at me, the way that I approached it made it so that they couldn't. And maybe there's more dialogue to be had, and I'll fill you in if there is, but they couldn't be that aggressive or abrasive person anymore. So thank you everybody for saying happy birthday in the chat. I appreciate that. It's not midnight yet, but it will be soon in about 2 hours. So with all that being said, guys, take everything in stride. Show everybody love. I love you all. Love one another. Tell yourself you love yourself, like Omar says all the time. Go look in the mirror. Tell yourself you love yourself, and mean it when you say it. Right? Mean it. I'm here for everybody and anybody, and I'm on email away if anybody needs help. What I can also do is I can offer Akashic record um, meditations where we can go in and check your Akashic record with me doing it. That's something that we can always dive into as well. So hit me up if you're interested in that. And yeah, I love you all, and I hope everybody has a great evening. And I hope this message found you with love and abundance. You all rock. I love you all, and I hope everybody has a great and wonderful evening. See you all on Thursday. Have a good night.